Hey everyone, I'm in my car. Are semi-trucks the biggest poison to society? Now, I made a video about a week ago when I had just finished a road trip from Indianapolis to where I live in Ohio. A trip that was supposed to take 2 hours, took like 5 or 6 because we were in a big snowstorm. I was pretty upset, pretty heated, specifically targeted a lot of that rage towards semi-truck drivers for how they were behaving on the road. The response to that video was violent threats and people hating me. And so I took the time to kind of reflect on the words I said. I came out with an apology, and I thought that this issue was kind of behind me. I thought I learned from it. I thought I had grown. But then I had to make another road trip this weekend because that's all that Christmas time is just making road trips to see the people in your life, which is fun. I like seeing the people in my life. And this time I was driving in a rainstorm. One of those crazy rainstorms where you cannot see anything at your front windshield. And I have some complaints. Why on earth? I don't need to be yelling. I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't need to be yelling. You cannot be within 1,000 feet behind a semi-truck if it's in the middle of a rainstorm. Because what happens is, well, I guess, this isn't, when the rain is hitting your windshield so hard you can't see, it really doesn't matter. But when it's just kind of raining and there's already a ton of water on the road, if you get behind a semi-truck, it is splashing so much water up into your windshield that you cannot see. So what happens is that when the semi-truck, when you're in the left lane, they're in the right lane, and they inevitably cut you off, because I'm telling you, semi-trucks are cutting me off all the time in the left lane because they're trying to speed past another semi, and the semi that they're trying to speed past is going the speed limit, so then they get over into the left lane, and then they're also just going the speed limit, so they're not even passing the semi-truck. When that happens, it ruins your field of vision. So you have to, you don't want to slam on the brakes, but you have to now, back up several hundred more feet. It's inconvenient. And here's the thing. I'm allowed to complain about these inconveniences without, understand, I'm not hating on semi-truck drivers, right? I'm not hating on individual drivers. I think it's a tough job, and I would not want to do that job, and it's an essential job. A lot of people thought the first time I made the rant that I didn't know that semi-trucks had goods in them. They were like, you can't complain about semi-trucks because they have consumer goods in them. That doesn't mean I can complain about whatever I want. I can complain about whatever I want, especially when they're being an inconvenient to me. And look, I stopped on my road trip. I stopped at a Love's, which is basically Mecca for truck drivers. And in my defense, people were right about, I honestly didn't really realize that semi-trucks had consumer goods. I thought they were all just trying to get to Love's. I thought that was the whole goal of being a semi-truck driver was to make it to Love's so you could be allowed to use their showers. And I heard a semi-truck driver talking to the Subway lady, because Love's have random restaurants in there. This one had a McDonald's and a Subway. And he was like, yeah, man, a lot of these semi-truck drivers don't know how to drive. That's what I've been saying this whole time! That is what I've been saying the whole time. And to hear another semi-truck driver, to hear that come out of his mouth was so validating to my feelings. Because a lot of these people just be cutting, it's a danger. They're dangerous. They got to be careful. And it's because, I get it, they've been driving these vehicles for years and years, so them whipping it around is no big deal. Oh, and by the way, any of this frustration that you hear me throwing towards semi-truck drivers, 10x it to the semis that have it's the big semi-truck, and then they have 13 cars on the backside, and you have a Ford Explorer basically angled down, staring at you as you're driving towards it 70 miles an hour. You know what I'm talking about? They have that are basically towing cars across the country. Oh, one of those cut me off an hour ago, and I was like, I cannot believe you. I cannot believe you. It's a 2-lane highway. They're going 70 miles an hour. I'm going 80 miles an hour in the left lane, and they cut me off just to go 71 miles an hour. I cannot believe it. And I'm allowed to complain about this stuff. I'm sorry. All the people who got offended at me weren't even semi-truck drivers, okay? I'm sure the majority of semi-truck drivers are fine. But some of them, specifically the ones I interact with, suck. Yeah, you can't be behind them in a rainstorm because they will literally kill you. And I think it's their goal. I think their intention is to block your field of vision, and so you fly off into the rail and to total your car. That's their goal. So anyway, I don't know. Let me know what you think about semi-truck drivers.